Welcome to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. Use the power of discovering new habits to create success in all areas of life. Body, fitness and nutrition, being, spirituality, passion and purpose, balance, marriage, kids and relationships, business, marketing, sales, leadership and systems. Transform your life by learning how habits work. And now your host, a husband, father, entrepreneur, trainer, coach, and warrior, Jesse Ewell.
All right, welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Ewell, and today we're going to be talking about the habit of being organized. I have a very special guest, Alex Herrera, who is the owner and founder, CEO of Palm Organix, which is a premium grade, zero THC CBD oil. Alex, I want to welcome you on the Habit-Based Lifestyle episode.
Thank you, Jesse. It's an honor to be on your show.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, man. So I got to kind of go through some of your backstory. How did you get to where you are today? I know we only got, a little over 45 minutes, but like, how did you actually get to, where you are today? Can you give me a little bit of rundown of like where you started and then coming down to today?
Sure. And I'll give it to you, at a high level. I live in Northern Jersey. I'm 50 years old. I'm married. I have 4 children, very kind of regular, just a regular profile. And in my previous life, which I like to refer to it now as, I worked on Wall Street. I was one of those guys you'd see on the TV news running around the trading floor. So I did that, till like 2008 and had a pretty good career. So, I kind of left the business and I got into, I was always an entrepreneur by heart, and I got into investing, and I got into, investing in other brands. And so I was an investor, but it was boring stuff. Like I've invested in real estate or I invested in private equity, just stuff that's, very, just general esoteric stuff. And somewhere in the early 2013, 14, 15, you started hearing or seeing guys that were showing you investment opportunities in the cannabis space. So I started seeing stuff. People want to open up a greenhouse, or people want to do a farm, or they want to, medical marijuana or licensing of legal marijuana. And so I would see a lot of pitch decks because I was an investor. And even though I might've been a smaller investor, I had a lot of co-investors, right? So I had people that would write large checks on top of my check. So I would be kind of bird dogging and looking for opportunities. And then I'd have some real big check writers behind me. And, so I saw a lot of flow. And then one day I started hearing about this thing called CBD. And I was like, what is CBD? Like, I don't even know what this is. And so I started digging into it. And I kind of was like, you started reading about the Farm Bill Act. My Wall Street, research started digging in. And I started thinking, well, you know what? CBD is going to become legal way before they just make recreational marijuana legal all over throughout the country. And so I started deciding that I wanted to be involved in the CBD space. So I started looking at opportunities and different companies. And, after vetting, dozens and dozens of companies, the short answer was that I could either find really good management teams that had okay product, or I could find guys with okay product and poor management skills. I couldn't find the stool to stand up straight. So my wife, Karen, has she worked in long-term care and she's in the health fields. And she said, why don't you, instead of investing in somebody, why don't you launch it yourself? And so that's how we did it. We started Palm Organix in November of 18. And then we got lucky, and the Farm Bill Act passed in 2019 in January, was signed into effect. Mitch McConnell is actually the guy who championed through the Senate. And the rest is where we are today.
Okay. So, obviously I'm guessing you studied quite a bit, looked at the industry. You've been in it since 2018, but like, as you've gotten into that, what are some of the big things that you've learned just starting out in this business? Because it doesn't sound like it's super old, but what are some of the things you've learned just going into it?
Yeah. So I think the most important thing we did, and, look, I always say we've made mistakes. Try to keep your mistakes small. But we've been very smart in other ways, and we've had success. So the first and the most important thing we did is we worked backwards. Like, we didn't say, hey, let's just go buy some CBD and try to sell it. We said, let's go find the highest quality hemp we can get our hands on, and let's use that as our product and work backwards. So if you have a really high quality product, you have something that people are going to like and they're going to come back to, right? So there's so many poor brands out there, you know. So we decided, let's start by finding a really high quality product. And we also decided that we wanted to be a brand that's called broad spectrum CBD, which means we want it to be zero THC. So the Farm Bill states for CBD to be legal, it must contain less than 0.3%. We decided to go with the 000 brand. And that has been a really good move for us because we capture people that are interested in, would be against THC in any dosing level. And so we get a lot of government workers, police officers, moms and dads that give CBD to children. So people that don't, religious beliefs, people that don't want any THC are kind of really migrating to our product.
Yeah. Can you tell me like why someone would put, you know, whether it's 1% or whether it's, you know, whatever in their THC, like why would they do that? Is that for an effect to feel something different or like, can you explain that?
Yeah. So, I mean, you hit me with a really good question right out of the gates here. But so it depends who you ask that question to. So I have a theory as to why people are putting THC in their product. So those that put THC in their product, they call it full spectrum. And they're taking the position that this is the entire plant. And in order for CBD to be effective, you have to use the entire plant, including the THC. And they refer to that as what's called the entourage effect. So they're saying that by having THC in the product, you get the entourage effect and all of the benefits of the CBD, right? Okay. Now, those of us who sell a broad spectrum or a zero THC will argue that 0.3% is so minuscule and let's take it all out. I think the answer is somewhere in between, where I think that some companies, it's more expensive to take all the THC out. It also requires additional technology, because as you remove THC, you're removing what you don't want in it. You're also removing what you do want in it. And so it's very hard to find a company that can remove just what you don't want and leave the good stuff in at high levels. And so the brand that we use has, you know, patent technology on that.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to get into, you know, your product specifically, but I want to just give the audience. So there's broad spectrum, which is your product, and it has zero THC, correct?
Correct.
And then you have full spectrum, which is you have CBD and you have a mild dose of THC.
Correct.
And then you have entourage, or is full spectrum entourage?
Yeah, no. So you have basically three categories of CBD. You have full spectrum, which is the entire plant, including THC, but less than 0.3%.
Okay.
You have broad spectrum, which is exactly the same as full spectrum, except for you remove the THC. Okay. And then you have a third category, which is called an isolate, which would be just one particular cannabinoid that's isolated. So isolate would be just an isolated cannabinoid. And so those are the three main types of CBD that are on the markets that consumers are purchasing.
And so where would I find like isolate? Is that anywhere?
Yeah, there's certain brands that just sell isolate, and they'll just try to isolate, you know, certain. So there's 113 cannabinoids plus in the hemp plant. So they're isolating one of those components, and there's beliefs that this component is maybe good for sleep, and this one is good for, you know, supporting joint and muscle flexibility. So they'll try to isolate that one. We believe in trying to take the entire plant, except for the THC, keeping all the beneficial flavonoids and terpenes, and giving you a much more well-rounded product.
Okay. And the reason I ask is, you know, a lot of times now you're going to, you know, convenience stores, you're going like just about anywhere carries CBD. Which CBD is the majority of these places carrying? Is it full spectrum, or is it isolate, or is it broad spectrum?
So I think the most common brand, or the most common one that's sold, is the full spectrum, and that I think is the most popular brand. But I will tell you, you know, you just mentioned about you can buy CBD everywhere, and if you've ever watched that video, you know, the cocaine cowboys from the 80s in Miami, that's what the CBD industry is like today. And so, you know, you bring up a great point. It's available everywhere. I always say that. Yep, it's available at the convenience store as you're getting your hair cut, to put it to your coffee. But not all CBD is created equal and not all hemp is created equal. And that's where I think the consumer is lost and confused, doesn't know where to go to buy it, et cetera.
Yeah, and I really want on this episode to really educate consumers on CBD, like the difference in types, and then, what are the best ways to know that you're getting a quality product. So can you talk about your product, and why yours or this broad spectrum is better than others?
Yeah, and so before I'm going to be glad to speak about my product, of course, directly, but let me just start by saying that as a consumer or somebody who hopefully listens to your podcast and here's this what we're talking about, I think there's a handful of questions that they should be looking for. So the first thing they want to be doing is saying, where is their hemp sourced from, right? So you basically have the cannabis plant and there's marijuana as a species and hemp as a species. The majority of CBD is coming from hemp. So it's important to know, where is this hemp being sourced? It's our opinion that the finest hemp available in the world is coming from a handful of states. Colorado, where we get ours, Kentucky is a big hemp grower, Oregon's a big producer of hemp. So those are, say, 3 states that are good. I think your listeners want to avoid Eastern European hemp and Asian hemp because those two are known to be inconsistent in both CBD strengths, so meaning they have low levels of CBD, and they're also inconsistent in THC levels. In fact, a recent Consumer Reports type of group went out and tested 30 different CBD brands, 30. And if I told you to guess how many of you think had no CBD in it, I'll give you the answer. It was 30. So there's a lot of very, very poor product on the market. So how does your listener find the right product? Find out where your hemp is sourced. Ask that to your retailer. Where is this coming from? Then the next most important question is this product that you're buying, do you have what's called certificates of quality assurance? So when we buy product from our supplier, they're supplying us with a report that says there's no THC, there's no lead, there's no pesticides, there's no heavy metals, and this is the content level of the CBD, the CBDN, the terpenes, and the flavonoids, et cetera. Well, we don't stop there. We take that batch then and we send it out a second time for what's called third-party lab testing. So it's tested once by our supplier. We send it out independently to get tested again. And then we go as far as to put a QR code on our bottle that says all that information is available to you by scanning this code or by visiting our website. And everything that you need to know is on our product is right there in front of you. Because I'll tell you what, Jesse, the FDA is not regulating this business. So it's self-policing. So
it's kind of like supplements.
Yeah, you're just betting that the supplier or your retailer is doing what's supposed to be done and doing it the right way.
Right. Yeah, this reminds me exactly of the supplement industry.
Right. So you got to buy it from, in my opinion, a high quality USA grown hemp, which has certificates of quality assurance and is third party lab tested, and all that information should be readily available. If the seller is not willing to give you one of those 3 things, I think you run the other way.
Okay. And 7-Eleven isn't doing that paperwork, I'm guessing, or a lot of these other places that are carrying CBD type products.
Yeah, I think, I think it's just a question of like knowing the brand that you're buying, doing research on it, right? So, what do we do? You asked me about our brand. So our brand is called Palm Organix with an X, and we are sourcing our hemp from a company called Folium Biosciences in Colorado that provides us with lab testing. They're the largest supplier of industrial hemp in the country. And then from there, we send it out to independent labs to be tested. And if you visited our store, we actually have a retail store. We sell wholesale and we sell online. That information is available in our store. It's available on the QR code in the bottle. And if you visit our website, every product has the link to all that reporting. So we're checking all the boxes and self-policing ourselves. But there's no way to avoid, there's a couple, I don't know what the right word to use here, but there's a lot of people that are trying to, I guess, cut corners or misinform the public. So for example, I'll give you a very common comment that I hear. So somebody will walk into our store and say, oh, your CBD topical cream is $40, make up a number. I can buy this on Amazon for $20. And I look at them and say, you can't. It's not available. How do I know that? Because Amazon does not permit the sale of CBD products on their website. So what is happening on Amazon? This is one of my biggest pet peeves. On Amazon, they're selling what's called hemp seed oil and they put a little pretty marijuana leaf on the bottle and they put on a lotion and they're telling you that you can buy this cream on Amazon for $12.99. But that hemp seed oil has zero to no medicinal value, because hemp seed oil is made from pressing the actual seeds of the hemp plant, and which delivers what is much like an olive oil for cooking or for skin. It's high in omega fats, but it has no CBD, terpenes, or flavonoids. Hemp that's used for CBD, they use the stalk, the leaves, and the flowers, and that's where they get the CBD content from. So they're scamming you, for lack of a better word.
Sure, it's good marketing.
Yeah, very good marketing.
So are your products you sell are organic?
So our products are organically grown, and whenever we can, we're using organic, carriers. So, for example, our we use certified organic lavender and eucalyptus. Whenever we can use organically grown products, we're always using organically grown products. So we're GMP compliant, which means our products are created we're pharmaceutical grade, but we're in a GMP facility. We're meeting all the checking all the boxes, and we're delivering. So we're delivering a premium product to the consumer, right? So we have a high-end, broad-spectrum CBD, and we sell everything from SoftGels to tinctures to gummies to energy drinks to face masks to pet treats to pet tinctures, and we sell a full line of products.
So what are some of the results that you have experienced from not only taking your product, but from other people taking your product?
Yeah, so I'm gonna walk the line here as I answer this question, because one of the things with the FDA is that we're not able to make any type of medical claim. So you'll see that disclaimer that says this product is not intended to cure, treat, diagnose, blah, blah, blah. But what I can tell you is, and your users could do a simple Google search and say, why are people seeking the use of CBD? So that's a good way of putting it. So CBD is known to support, lower levels of anxiety. It's known to help calm people. It's known to promote a healthy night's sleep, AKA anxiety. And it's also been very well received in promoting joint and muscle flexibility and things. So what does that all really mean? So let me answer your question just a slightly different way. If you were to spend the day with me in my store, half the people that walk in and say, I have stress, anxiety, migraines, I'm depressed, I'm just struggling with life. So we call that the mental side of the equation. Right. The other half of the people come in and say, I have sciatica, I have carpal tunnel, my knee hurts, my fingers hurt, blah, blah. So it's almost 50-50 why people are using CBD. Half for the mental side and half for the physical side.
Okay.
And we have hundreds and hundreds of people that buy from us monthly that just say like, hey, I can't believe since using your product, I'm no longer taking oxycodone, or I've stopped taking my gabapentin, and I'm so pleased that how this works. And, we can get into how it's supposed to work. But we have tons and tons of people that have had, fantastic results by using our product.
Sure. So what's the difference of like how this works versus, maybe how, we could say the, physical side of maybe, a pain killer or muscle relaxer versus CBD? What is like the process of the CBD in your body? How does that work?
Sure. Great question. So CBD is believed, CBD has been used for thousands of years going back to Asia, but CBD is believed to interact with what's called the endocannabinoid system. So I know it sounds like a crazy big word, but everybody refers to the endocannabinoid system as the ECS system. So your body, Jesse, my body, everybody's body, the dog laying next to me in my office, we all have an endocannabinoid system. And the endocannabinoid system is the body's way of healing itself. So it's intended to bring the body into homeostasis, also known as balance. So you have the endocannabinoid system, your body system, the human system, and then you have CBD, which comes from a plant, hemp. It's called a phytocannabinoid. So phyto from our biology days is a plant-based cannabinoid. And so the way it works is you're taking a phytocannabinoid that is supercharging the body's ability to heal itself and get itself into balance quicker. And then it does some work with receptors and blocking certain pains and blah, blah. But the simple high-level answer is that CBD products interact with the body's endocannabinoid system, ECS, to promote a state of balance, harmony, and homeostasis.
Okay.
So So no, we have people that come in and say, "Hey, I suffer from migraines," and I said, "I've been using your product. I haven't had a migraine," or "I suffer from anxiety." And I can give you 1,000 stories of people that come in and say, "Hey, I have anxiety," and I say, "Who doesn't?" Everybody has anxiety. I heard your podcast on stress. Everybody has stress.
Right.
So people just seem to be, I think in your podcast episode 46, you're talking about people have stress driving to work. People have stress at work. Their boss gives them stress. Life gives them stress. I have 4 kids. I mean, I know what stress is. So.
Right. It's just, I always look at stuff like this as like, I'm big into habits. And so sometimes, I think there's a placebo effect even with prescription drugs of, hey, I've been on this for so long that I just have continued to take it because it makes me feel better. And then it's like, well, how do you actually know it makes you feel better? Have you stopped taking it for the last 60 days? They're like, no, I can't do that because I couldn't handle what would happen. It's like, well, how do you know? And I actually worked with a client who had a GERD, and I went through this process with him. All of a sudden, he stopped taking the medication. He's like, dude, nothing happened. He told me he was going to die if he stopped. I'm like, well, how do you know that? And so we started getting into this thing. I was like, why don't you just take vitamin C instead of taking your GERD medicine and see what happens? All of a sudden, he's been off of it for, 6 months and nothing's happened. But, do you feel like you're like, this product is working on people to the extent where it's actually really getting them out of pain? Or do you think that in some cases there may be a little bit of a placebo effect? Or in both?
So I'm going to give you 2 examples. And one of them, I'm going to use my mother.
Okay.
My mother is, she's funny. So my mom has arthritis and her body hurts everywhere. And so when I started this company, I was like, "Hey, Mom, you want to try taking some CBD?" "Oh, I don't want to take marijuana. But I'm not marijuana, blah, blah, blah." So we overcome that hurdle. And she starts taking our SoftGels. And my mother's experience is very common in the CBD users' experience. So they start taking it and they think, is this working for me? I feel pretty good, but I don't know if it's really working or not. Okay. So what ends up happening to a lot of users, and we hear this all the time, is that their bottle runs out and they say, "You know what? I feel pretty good. I don't know if this stuff was really working." And then they stop taking it. And all of a sudden, wow, here comes the pain back again. So it's not like it's a miracle cure. But in my mother's case with chronic arthritis, she'll say to me, "Alex, when I run out, I have a hard time getting out of my chair in the family room." And I would say to her, "Why don't you tell me this? Well, I don't want to bother you." I'm like, "Mom, I own a CBD company. I mean, I can give you a bottle of CBD, right?" Like, so, and the other thing I'll hear from the athletes listening in, I had a buddy who started taking CBD and he was doing our energy drinks, and he was down in Florida. He was running on the beach. He's like, "I feel good. My knee doesn't hurt and my foot doesn't hurt anymore. And I feel like maybe it's the sun in Florida." And then he came back to New York and stopped taking the product, and boom, the pain's come back. So people have different levels of experiences with it. But what I will tell people, some people come into the store and say, "Hey, look, I had a car accident. I have 3 broken vertebrae. There's 2 rods in my back," and and they think, "Well, can I just take a drop of your CBD oil and everything will be fixed?" And that's also unrealistic, right? So,
right.
So it's very path dependent, and CBD is very individualistic, and people react to it differently. The other thing I'll say to you is that there's a lot of people out there promoting like you need to take these massive amounts of CBD. That's not true. CBD, the average person does well with 20 to 25 milligrams a day. And that's really the truth of it. If you have some serious issues, maybe you're taking 50 or 75, but you don't need to take a 500 milligrams of CBD a day.
Sure. And in the effect it has on your, liver, kidneys, stuff like that is like none.
The studies are out there, and again, it's not FDA approved, but I will tell you that no one's ever died of taking CBD. I think in high doses, you might get a little drowsy, or you might, have a dry mouth, but it's coming from a plant. It's, it's all natural. And so I think the side effects you could safely say are minimal to very few.
Sure. Do you know why, cause I've taken CBD more for sleep than anything else, but do you know why? Cause I've actually measured, my 4 stages of sleep, my REM sleep and my deep sleep. And when I've taken CBD, I've actually noticed those increase by almost 50% each one when I do take it. But do you know why CBD actually helps you sleep?
Yeah, so that's a very common reason why people are searching for CBD. And again, my research is really one of the things we've done is most CBD brands are sold online, faceless. It's a website. You go on there, there's product, and there's nothing more to it. If you go to our website, you're going to see a picture of us, my wife, our store. And
Sure.
so the store has been great for us because people come in and talk to us, and we talk to people and we educate them. And so we can tell you based on people telling us that the reason people don't sleep is because as they're laying in bed, they're thinking about, my 3 kids. Well, this kid crashed a car. This kid's having trouble in school. I've got to go to the grocery store. My car's got a flat tire, and their brain is racing. And so when they take CBD before they go to sleep, it seems to calm their body, and it's kind of takes some of the stress and anxiety away, which lets them stop thinking about something, and it promotes sleep for them. So that, working with the endocannabinoid system, it's kind of bringing the body into balance, and it makes people just kind of feel more relaxed. And people always ask me, am I going to feel stoned or can I drive? Yeah, none of that affects you with CBD.
Well, what fascinates me and kind of some of the misconceptions about CBD is people take it, they're like, well, I don't really feel anything. But it's like, well, there's not really anything in it where you're supposed to feel anything or not feel anything other than maybe just a little bit less stressed or maybe not so much tension in your body, things like that. But I think one of the misconceptions is like, hey, I don't want to be, I don't want to do this because I don't want to be high or whatever.
Correct. And I think one of the products that I think for those who are, who want to start trying it or are more skeptical, we have a product. And again, there's lots of great brands out there, but in our brand, for example, our brand, we sell 2 topicals, and we sell a 1 ounce, 450 milligram salve, which is like kind of, I'll describe it like a Burt's. Some of your listeners will know what a salve is, but I didn't know. But a salve is like a Burt's beeswax type of looking product. Okay. And that is a product that's applied topically. And that product is probably what we sell. It's one of our top 3 best sellers because the results of people who walk in and say, hey, you know what? My elbow hurts. And I'll say, well, let's try some of this salve on it. And they'll be like, okay, well, I'm going to go walk around and do a little more shopping. And if it works for me, I'll come back and buy it. And 90% of them come back and buy it. It works very, very quickly. And it's great for targeted relief. So people are using our lotion and our salve for carpal tunnel, my shoulder hurts, sciatica, et cetera. You can apply it where it bothers you.
So where's your store at, location?
Yeah, sure. Great question. So yeah, like I mentioned, we sell nationally online. We ship for free. We ship same day, and we'll talk about our white glove service. But to answer your question, our store is located at the Palisades Center Mall, which is in West Nyack, New York. It's actually the 7th largest mall in the country, getting something like 25, 30 million visitors a year. So we're in a high traffic, destination mall that has everything from 20 restaurants to ice skating and go-karts. And so people come in and we spend 10, 15, 20 minutes with them educating them on CBD. Okay.
And then you also have an online store, which is what's the website of that?
So the website is Palm Organix, which is PALMORGANIX, organics with an X.com. And we ship to all 50 states. We ship same day. We ship for free. And, one of our pet peeves when we started this business was, in addition to getting great product, was let's give outstanding, crazy, over-the-top service. So if you were to put an order in right now and it hit our fulfillment center before 4:00, it goes out the same day, which is unheard of in the CBD world, right? People are complaining about they buy it today and they get it in 6 weeks. We ship the same day.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about your products. You have premium CBD soft gel.
Yep.
You have a cream, and then you have gummies, and then you have the tincture.
Correct. And we also have a face mask we sell. Okay. We sell a pet chew, which we could talk about that as well. And we also sell a pet tincture. But, I guess, you hit the big categories. Soft gels are very popular. Our tinctures are popular. Topicals, hugely popular. And then, of course, the pet line, et cetera.
So is the effect different in a tincture versus a say a gummy or a gel or a lotion?
So let's compare it. So when you talk about, let's talk about the edibles. So the edibles would be soft gels, gummies, and tinctures. So there are some pros and cons, or there's some discrepancies between the products. So for example, tinctures are very popular for those that have, stress, anxiety, migraines, because they are the fastest acting, or one of the fastest ways to get CBD into your body. So next to vaping, which we don't sell any vape products, we never have, tinctures are the fastest way to get CBD into your body, because as you know, Jesse, you take them sublingually and you put it under your tongue, and it goes through your capillaries and your blood vessels, and it gets into your system very quickly. Now, it might not last quite as long as a soft gel, but it does get to you quicker. Our soft gels have what's called nano-emulsion technology. So the CBD particles are broken up into such tiny little particles that they're fully absorbable. So soft gels, I always like to say to people, if you don't want to overthink CBD, just pop a pill with your morning pills, and it's kind of getting your CBD in your system. Okay. The mistake that people make with tinctures is they just put it in their mouth and swallow it. So if you're putting it in your mouth and swallowing it, you're losing a lot of the effect, because you really need to hold it under your tongue. They say 60 seconds. I would tell you 2 minutes would be better. So you're holding underneath your tongue, letting it absorb to the blood vessels and bloodstream and the capillaries, and then you're swallowing it. So those are the big cons and the big pros and cons. So I think soft gels will last a little longer, a little slower to kick in. The tinctures will hit you faster. It might not last quite as long. But the game really is this, Jesse. It's like, if you think you need 25 milligrams of CBD a day, because that's when you're feeling good, there's nothing wrong with taking a 15 milligram tincture in the morning and taking a 10 milligram gummy at night. And, so it's however you prefer is what we always tell people. Whatever way you think you can start your habit, right? Right. What's your habit to be successfully consuming this product so you don't stop taking it or not take it? And so it's a lot of it's personal preference.
So one of the things that you just kind of brought up was vaping. There's a lot of people vaping with CBD and stuff like that. What is, why don't you do that? And then kind of what's the difference between that and, what you're doing as far as your products?
Sure. So we just never did vaping. It was never part of our business plan, even from day one. We just said we're not going to do vaping. We're trying to be a health and wellness company that's supporting people's health, and we think that vaping and smoking, anything that is related to that, is just not healthy. So it was kind of a real conflict of interest, like saying, "Hey, let's vape CBD to get healthy." So we were just against it from the beginning, and I think this was a case of us getting lucky, where it was 6 months later, it's like vape is banned, and people are unfortunately getting very ill from that. So I think the problem with the vaping is that a lot of these cartridges that people are buying are they're self-made. I mean, I think people are, blending these things under no FDA approval, and you're taking your hands and your life in your own hands by just buying these little pods that you have no idea what's in those. And so I think it's something that your listeners should probably avoid. I think you can get much of the same effect or the same effect by just taking a tincture or a soft gel. So we don't do the vape, and we recommend that you don't do vapes. And, as you can imagine, as running a CBD company, we get inbound emails and calls every day for people trying to sell us, hey, we're selling vapes and we're selling vape things. And we just, tell them that's not our business plan.
Sure. Yeah. So what's one thing that you are looking towards doing in 2020? Obviously something you can share, but maybe with your company and maybe something new or something exciting you got going on.
Yeah. So I think, what's happening in the CBD space, I think your users will see, is that it was a rush into the industry. Everybody knows somebody who sells CBD, and you meet somebody you take CBD. Yeah, my neighbor's friends, cousins sell CBD. Everybody's selling CBD, the gas station, the hairdresser. So I think we're going to see in 2020 is that there's going to be a lot of these, what I call smaller players exiting the space. They just don't have the resources, the marketing, or the quality products to make it. So you're going to see a consolidation of the space. I think you're going to expect to see prices dropping. I think you're going to see that prices will start to go down. Hemp is overproduced. I can tell you that from people just calling me. And then, I think our plan is to just try to continuously, offer products that are popular at a reasonable price with high customer service. So whether that is, we decide to do a bath bomb, or we decide to do a protein bar, or whatever new and unique products that we can get that are realistic too. There's some crazy CBD products out there that I don't think people want. I think the idea is to be differentiating in a high quality product.
Right.
We're looking at other SKUs to try to roll out, whether it might be a stick roll on. People like they love the salve, but some people say, "Oh, I don't have to use my fingers." So maybe some type of product that you can do it without getting any on your hands and fingers. So that sort of stuff.
Okay. And then you talked a little bit before we got on about what's your product for working out?
Oh yeah. So we sell what we call our CBD energy drink, which is 12.5 milligrams of CBD, and it comes in a little pouch, and you basically take it and put it in a water bottle and shake it up, and it's hugely popular with the gym crowd. So people are taking this pre and post workout, and they're having a lot of success with it. In fact, Edible Arrangements, the fruit gift basket company, recently launched a CBD brand called Incredible Edibles, and they actually selected that product from us. We're really proud of that, as you can tell. They actually selected that product from us to sell nationwide, and so it's a great product, and it comes in they come in a box of 5 that look like this, and there's 5 pouches in there, and you take one and shake it into a water bottle, and people really like it. It gives them a little bit of caffeine, and then it helps with all the CBD characteristics.
Okay. Amazing. So is this, do you work with your wife? Does your family work in the business, or like,
Yeah. So, my wife is she's our co-founder, and, she's just a tremendous, they wouldn't be able to do it without her. She's a great asset to their business. And she is, I am more, I think, of the 30,000 foot high level person. And without her, I think a lot of these, details or, things would fall through the cracks. So she's extremely organized, and I think I'm organized, but she's extremely organized. And there's a lot, as a family business, we're a family owned business. We are, we have some kids that help out sometimes in fulfillment and shipping, but, we have employees, and we have a tech team, and we have marketing teams, and, it's a lot to manage and run. It's a whole different world from Wall Street, but it's a very rewarding business, and we get great satisfaction in just giving such high customer service, and people are very grateful and appreciative of how we treat them.
Yeah, that's amazing. So one habit, this is kind of your final question. What's one habit you can give the audience that it's created or helped you create the success in your life?
So I would say for me, it's been being organized, because life is, I have a wife and 4 kids, and, like everybody else does, life is fast and moving. And so I can actually show you, you're going to laugh, but I've actually had this habit that goes back to right after I graduated college, where I actually every day start a new sheet of paper working off the previous day's paper, where I organize what is on my to-do list. And I think that being organized and creating to-do lists and prioritizing what is most important to get done. So you're not lollygagging and saying, "Oh, well, I have these 5 things to do, but this is the easiest one." You get in the habit of making the number one important thing, and you try to scratch that one off first. So like my habit looks like this, you can see it, but there's a list of what I need to do. And then tomorrow morning, I'm going to rip that sheet off and scratch off whatever I got done and keep it going. And so organizing it, working hard. And I think that is a key, what did Andy Warhol say? 90% of success is just showing up. So right. I think if you show up and you're organized and work hard, can lead to success.
Yeah, that reminds me of, I don't know if you're familiar with this habit, but it's called the Ivy Lee habit. And you may want to look it up when you're done. But basically what it is you write down 6 things that you got to get done. Whether you do it at night, the night before, or that morning of, and basically you don't move on to number 2 until you finish number 1. You don't move on to number 3 until you finish number 2, and whatever you didn't get done that day, you carry it over into the next day.
Sounds like I'm doing that. Yeah, that sounds like my plan.
Yeah, so it sounds like yours is like, instead of 6, it's like 20.
Right. Yeah. Because I keep getting new stuff thrown in the pile. Yeah. But
yeah. So, well, hey, man, I really want to thank you for being on here, educating my listeners about CBD? And can you give us one more time where they can go to find your products?
Absolutely. So if you happen to be in the New York City tri-state area, we're located at the Palisade Center Mall. The name of the business is Palm Organix, as in Palm, P-A-L-M, Organix, O-R-G-A-N-I-X. And you can find us at www.palmorganics.com. And I would tell your listeners that if you call us at our store, if you email us at our, contact us, we will respond to you within 12 hours, the latest. Saturday, Sunday, doesn't matter when it is. So if you have any questions or you want to talk to us on the phone, literally, we will be happy to talk to anybody who wants to call and say, I'm interested in buying a $20 product. Will you talk to me? I may pick up the phone and talk to them. So we're all about that. And I appreciate the opportunity to be on your show. And again, please visit us at palmorganics.com.
Yeah. And if you guys are listening to this, if you go on the website, they offer a discount for your first time on the website. So make sure you go on there. You do have to give your email, but to get a quality product is super important when it comes to CBD. You guys have been educated, by Alex. And, I think the important thing is he's not just promoting his product, he's promoting CBD and quality products, which like I stand for, and people is like, hey, even if you don't buy my product, make sure you buy a quality product. But I will tell you that Alex has put a lot into his product and the science of it and developing it and putting it out there to give you the best quality product you can get. So thank you again for being on here.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah, if you guys are looking to connect further with a group of like-minded people, join myself and so many others in the Habit-Based Lifestyle Secrets group on Facebook, where I will be dropping daily habits to help you live to your full potential. If you want to be one of our next case studies and begin living this habit-based lifestyle, reach out to me, Jesse at habitbasedlifestyle.com. Until next episode, have a great day.